YouTube is on easy mode. Okay. I know you have seen it or heard it across your YouTube feed sometime over the past month. I know I have. So, for this episode of Vlogmas, I decided I would hop on and talk to you about how you can overcome the fear of starting a YouTube channel if YouTube is something that you have been wanting to do. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it for day 22 of Vlogmas. All right. So let's be real. The fear of starting YouTube is real. The fear of starting anything new is real because you are going to be stepping into doing something new, something that you've not done before, and that can be extremely challenging, especially when it comes to YouTube. A lot of people have a ton of fear around judgment, fear of being disliked, fear of failure, right? So people are afraid of what might happen if somebody finds out that they have a YouTube channel, a fear of being disliked. What if someone comes to my YouTube page and they don't like me? They don't like how I look. They don't like what I say. They dislike my video. Or what if my YouTube channel just fails? Like, it'll be complete waste of time and energy putting into creating this. Okay. Also, there's the feeling of being overwhelmed because there's so many unknowns that start or well that come with starting a YouTube channel. So tech, if you're not a tech person, you're probably thinking about what type of camera you should get, what kind of editing software you should get, even just editing the content, how much time it's going to take to edit the content. Content creation as a whole is something that a lot of people get overwhelmed by. Okay. Uh, on top of that, the fear of not being good enough, not feeling like you are experienced enough to be on YouTube, not feeling like you have what it takes, looking around at all the other people on YouTube that's been on YouTube for a long time, doing YouTube that are completely different from you, that are in different niches, that have different backgrounds than you have, and just feeling very overwhelmed and frustrated about the whole situation. And I get it. I feel you. I feel you. So, to address some of these main concerns, I am somebody who started my first YouTube channel like 16 years ago. Uh, if you don't believe me, I actually did a reaction video to my very first YouTube video that I did earlier in this Vlogmas series. So definitely feel free to check it out. Reacting to my very first YouTube video that I ever posted. And since that time, I have had quite a few different YouTube channels. And for whatever reason, I'm always being called back to YouTube. So this brand new channel that you are seeing me on right now, that I just started at the beginning of this month, is because YouTube was calling me again. Okay. I've always wanted to do Vlogmas, and I figured there's no time like the present. So let me go ahead and participate in Vlogmas. And a lot has changed since I've been on YouTube the last time. And I've changed as a person. Location, a ton of stuff about me has changed, especially since I first started my YouTube journey. So, with the fear of being seen, to be honest, when I first started my very first YouTube channel, I wasn't worried about that at all. That was not a fear that I had, but it's a fear that I know some people have. And it's understandable because honestly, when people that I knew started finding me on YouTube at that time in my life, it was kind of uncomfortable and it felt kind of weird that people were finding me on YouTube, especially since I hadn't told them that I was on YouTube. So that was a whole experience that, maybe I can do a story time on that later in the future, if that's something that you'd be interested in. Uh, and, obviously, being disliked is something that we really need to recognize shouldn't be something that deters us from doing things that we really, really want to do. Because if you think of even your favorite musicians, maybe even your favorite YouTubers, your favorite anybody, not everybody likes them. And that still hasn't stopped them from doing what they do, you know? Could you imagine if somebody decided to stop doing something, someone that you look up to decided to not do it just because someone was not going to like them, right? Because there's this quote that says you could be the ripest, juiciest peach, and there's still going to be somebody who doesn't like peaches, right? So when you make the decision to do YouTube, you really have to be okay with yourself and like yourself. Because ultimately, if you yourself don't like yourself, it's going to be a struggle. It's really about you working on your confidence, working on your truth and why you actually want to do a YouTube channel, you know? And I know it's easier said than done, but honestly, there's so many different ways that you can approach YouTube. There's faceless YouTube channels right now too, so you don't even have to put your face out on YouTube if you don't want to. If you really hate your channel at the end of the day, you can delete your channel. You know, there's so many ways to get around that aspect of it. But if YouTube is really calling you, there's a reason and a purpose behind why you're feeling called to get onto YouTube. And you know, thinking of the fear of failure, the only real failure in life is quitting. The only real failure in life is giving up. The fact that you try something and it doesn't work is actually a building block. It's something to help you get a better understanding of what is really for you, what is really more in alignment with you as a person. So that's what I can, you know, express to you, just especially from my experience of that. And then also, like, one thing that I will say too is like when you get onto YouTube, if you are thinking about doing a YouTube channel, if your only reason for doing YouTube is making money, unless you have a long-term strategy that you're really passionate about that you're going to be locked into, that might be a really bad idea because honestly, there's a lot of people that come onto YouTube and they do well and their channel takes off quickly and they get thousands of views and they get monetized quickly, but that's not necessarily everybody's story, right? So if you're only thinking about it for the monetization aspect of it, you might not get the results that you expect right off top, right? So if you are thinking about doing YouTube, really just ask yourself why you want to do it. You know, there's a saying in direct marketing and network marketing, direct sales and network marketing, that says your why should make you cry, right? And that basically says that if there's anything that you're doing in life, if your main reason to do it is just because you want to make a paycheck, like you can just go get a job. You see what I'm saying? If you are taking your free time, especially to do something, it should be something that inspires you so much, motivates you enough, something that is so compelling to you in your mind, body, and spirit that the desire to do that thing propels you forward. So, in the case of your why should make you cry, your reason behind doing it should be so strong that it's not a question. Your why behind doing it should be so strong that it basically offsets all of the negative reasons and the limiting beliefs behind why you shouldn't do it. You know, so when it comes into the whole technical aspects of doing things, and this is why a lot of people are saying how YouTube is on easy mode right now, is because YouTube is pushing a lot of new creators from what I've been hearing. I wouldn't say I've actually seen that. Actually, you know what? Maybe I have a little bit because to be honest, I wasn't really watching YouTube that much for the past few months. And I just now started getting into watching YouTube videos again. And a lot of the creators that have been saying YouTube is on easy mode are new channels. So, you know, that's something to tell you as well. So, most of these videos also aren't highly edited videos with a lot of production. It's just very simple videos, you know, people coming on like what I've been doing, blog style coming on, you know. And what really compelled me to start this channel, I've been meaning to start this channel for a while because, like I said, I feel like YouTube has been calling me. But one of the things that I really have been wanting to do is Vlogmas for a long time, and I've never done it before. So that's why I'm here and just, getting back into the vibe of doing long form content again and just, basically at a new stage of life where I feel like I'm starting all over again for another time in my life. And it just felt like the right time for me to start a YouTube channel. So if you are thinking about, you know, any of the reasons that I mentioned that's holding you back, you really have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. You can record a video, you can upload it, and if you don't like it, then you can be done, you know? You can dedicate just 3 months, 6 months, a year to doing YouTube and see what happens, you know? It may work for you, it may not work for you, but there's no worse feeling than the feeling of regret, right? A what if, no, what is it? An oops is better than a what if, I believe is how the quote says. Oops is better than what if. And I strongly believe that. And, you know, as I was saying earlier, failure, the only real failure is quitting, right? And even when, and even that saying doesn't even resonate with me as much as it used to because honestly, if you quit something because it's not aligned with you, if you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore because I don't feel good about this, or I'm not going to do this anymore because it's not aligned with me, that is not even a failure for real. That is enlightenment. That is fantastic to realize that you tried something and it didn't work out, and you're like, you're not quitting it for the fact that it didn't work out, but you're quitting it for the lessons that you learned along the process and realizing like this is just not a fit for me, or maybe it's just not a fit for you right now, So that's a long time spent on that one topic. So we're gonna keep it moving right along. But hopefully that helps you to get a little bit of a different way of looking at things in regards to like all the reasons why you shouldn't start because there's so many people starting YouTube channels every single day, And it's more important to be locked into the intention of why you want to do it as opposed to locked into the reasons on why you shouldn't do it. And then also, let's talk about the content creation aspect of it because let me tell you something. When people say YouTube is on easy mode, this is where I will have to co sign on this part because YouTube is making it so easy. I had no idea what I was going to post on YouTube today for this video. I am filming this at the 11th hour, okay? And YouTube has a new feature called the inspiration tab. And literally, I opened it and it gave me this idea. And I was like, yo, this is such a good idea. It gave me a few good ideas, okay? So there's going to be some videos coming up courtesy of the YouTube inspiration tab. If you want to know more about this and how it functions, I do have 2 videos in this Vlogmas series that I do touch on it. The very first video, I go over the whole inspiration tab. The second one, I do mention it. However, the part I talk about, it used to be inspiration and now they've changed that to trends. But I'll go ahead and I will link both of those videos in the description box below so you can pop in and watch those after this if YouTube is something that you are seriously thinking about pursuing. Okay. So, and also, yeah, I told you. So, like these notes right here, just know that these notes that I'm going off of, these are YouTube notes. YouTube gave me these notes, and I'm just taking these notes and I'm adding my own spin from my experience to the notes that was provided, the outline that YouTube basically gave me, right? Uh, so when it comes down to all of these things, you need to realize, first of all, that your content is valuable, okay? Because you have a unique perspective, you have unique skills, you have unique knowledge, you have unique experiences in your life that nobody else has. Nobody in the world can see life from the perspective that you see it from based on what you've been through. Yes, there's people that are going to resonate with you. Yes, there's people that are going to agree with you. Yes, there's people that are going to appreciate you. And there's also going to be people who do not. Trust me. I mean, and this happens on every single social media network. For example, I've been loving threads as of late. It's when I'm not on YouTube, I'm on threads. Okay. Uh, I'm not going to get into my long list of social media loves and hates right now. If that's a video you'd like to see in the future, definitely comment down in the comment section and let me know. But on threads, you can post something on threads that is full of love and joy and happiness and, get hundreds of people liking it and commenting and saying, oh my gosh, this is so good. And there will be that one person that's going to tell you all the ways that what you posted is not helpful. And that's just life. Sometimes there's just going to be a disgruntled person, and that's just what it is. But ultimately, there will more than likely be more people that respect your views and appreciate your views as long as you're speaking from a place of authenticity and you're speaking from a place of love. So that is something to consider. Furthermore, comparison is the thief of joy. I know you've heard that one before. So you really got to hone in on you. You got to focus on your own journey, your own experiences, and everything that makes you you. Because your journey and somebody else's journey is not the same. Nobody in this world has the exact same experiences, exact same journey. Everybody is viewing life through a completely different set of eyes and vision and views and beliefs. Like there's so much that goes into it. Like even people raised in the same household don't really see life the same way. So that's something to consider. Your views and the way you see things is unique to you. So you trying to compare yourself to somebody else's style, someone else's way of thinking, someone else's way of talking, you are diluting who you are, the full true essence of who you are and what you bring to the table. And this is something that I really had to remind myself, not in the sense of comparison, because I don't really like comparing myself to people because I understand my unique perspective. But the thing for me that has really propelled me to get back into YouTube and start doing Vlogmas, to get back into the vibe of creating content, long form content, and really digging deeper into sharing more is because I realized that, especially after, just posting things on threads, I've realized that there's so many people that need what I have to share and what I have to offer in whatever capacity that might be. Because I have a different view and I have a different perspective. And there's a reason and a purpose why I've felt the desire to get onto YouTube. So for me to hold back and to say, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm scared, I'm actually preventing somebody that needs to hear what I have to say from hearing it, you know? Because sometimes people may hear something from 100 people, but it takes that one person to hear it from where it really clicks. The way that person speaks, the way that person presents the subject matter. It takes one person to get somebody to see things differently. And you might be that person for somebody else, you know? Some people might think they're so strange, they're so weird, there's nobody else in the world like them. And then they come across your YouTube channel and they realize that they're not alone. Like how powerful is that? Ooh, like I just got goosebumps thinking about it. That is so powerful. Your perspective is so powerful. So hopefully that helps you to shift your perspective a little bit, to see things a bit differently about how valuable your take on life can be. And everything in life is a lesson. You do not have to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion, you know. Being imperfect is what makes us authentic and makes us true to ourselves and to others. And there's so much that you will learn on the journey. There's so much that you will learn as you grow in life. If you think about it, think about anything that you've ever started new in your life. At the beginning, you probably weren't that good, but as you progressed on that journey, you got better, you learned more. Like with this whole Vlogmas thing, this is my first time in my life actually vlogging in this style every single day. I've done back in the day, I did like a 30 days of live on YouTube where every single day I came on and I did a live for YouTube. But it's been a long time since I've done something like that, especially recording the video and actually like compiling the footage of the vlogging and stuff. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. And, you know, some days you don't want to film, especially doing daily videos. Some days you don't. Yesterday I didn't feel like filming. Today I didn't feel like filming. Another day last week I didn't feel like filming. But being able to discipline yourself to push those feelings aside and focus on the end goal and be intentional, but like, okay, well, this whole idea, what was the intention behind it, and sticking to that intention and moving forward. It helps you to build yourself as a person. So it's not about being perfect, it's just about sharing your journey, learning from your mistakes, seeing them as opportunities for growth. And other people will be able to appreciate that as well, because when they see you doing something outside of your comfort zone and sharing your experience, it actually motivates them and inspires them as well, which is a beautiful thing because there's so much we can learn from each other. Because honestly, even when I look at this journey, I literally just said, okay, I'm doing Vlogmas, and I just started recording. Like I kind of mentally prepared myself a few days in advance, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. And then one of my friends had said to me, like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do like a Vlogmas thing. She had a little bit of a different take on how she's gonna do Vlogmas, but that was a confirmation to me. I was like, yeah, okay, that was the confirmation you needed. You need to do this. I had no idea what it was going to look like. Okay. I did not prepare. Halfway through the journey, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start doing my thumbnails. I'm going to try to be more intentional because I didn't map out none of this stuff. And this is from someone this is not my first rodeo. I've done YouTube channels before. And I completely approached this whole experience like something brand new. And I've been enjoying it. And I'm not being hard on myself. And I'm just embracing the journey. And I'm super grateful that you are here watching this right now. I'm so grateful that I've had people like and comment and subscribe because that was the furthest thing from my mind when I started this. I was just like, yeah, I just want to do Vlogmas. So moving right along. So it's very important to start small and build up from that if you are not wanting to overwhelm yourself or you know, having like a false start, if you will, where you do too much too soon and then it doesn't work out the way that you expect it to, and then you're frustrated and then you're overwhelmed, and then you're like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. I don't want to do this anymore. Now, when it comes to that, I started with a Vlogmas, which is pretty intense. But then again, like I said, I'm not new to content creation. I'm not new to YouTube, and I just really wanted to do this. And it's still been a challenge for me. So if you are somebody that is super new to this, you've not done anything like this before, content creation, you're new to this, honestly, stick with something that is going to work for you. Okay. If that's one video a month, great. If that's one video a week, even better, right? It just depends on your intentions and what you're planning to do on your journey because nobody's journey is the same. So, again, it's not about perfection. Like I said, my very first YouTube, I don't know what I was doing. And I wasn't even watching anybody else's content to even be inspired by other videos at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to try this and kind of see what happens. And I didn't even, like I said, start doing thumbnails until almost 2 weeks in, and trying to be more intentional about the content and then learning like, okay, you know what? My day to day might be pretty boring. So like I'll share some of it here, share some of it there, and just, try to include videos like this, talking videos and things like this, where it's in like a step by step daily, like, oh now I'm doing this, now I'm doing this. but I'm merging that. I'm creating a style for the channel, as I go along. So you don't have to be perfect. You might try a style and you don't like it, so you try a different style. You might try a style and maybe no one responds to that, so you switch it up. You might do something different and realize, oh, people really like when I talk about this type of content. Let me include more of this. It's a learning journey, it's a growth process. And just being aware of that is going to help you so much. Okay. So start simple, get comfortable, and just try to improve over time. Now, in the notes, it talks about choosing a niche that you're passionate about. And I truly agree with that to a certain extent. If you're going to talk about something that you're really good at, something that you're passionate about, something that's going to drive you so you don't have to drag yourself to get up to be like, oh my gosh, I have to do this video. You should be so excited to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Now, I don't know if this is a sign that maybe for tomorrow I need to talk about niching because this has been something that I feel like this word has been like the bane of my existence for a long time. And I feel like niches have their place. But ultimately, I've always been very multi-passionate. And of course, yeah, I've had a couple niches, like kind of fell into a certain niche at a certain period of my life, but moved out of that niche. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, and I think Dan Coe says this the best, you are the niche. I'm not sure if he's the one that started that you are the niche trend or whatever, but that was something where I'm like, yo, this is literally what I've been thinking this whole time that I couldn't like get it out of my mouth to express it. And I do remember seeing a video. I don't even know if I actually watched that one particular video, but a few years ago I came across Dan Coe's channel and I'm like, yo, this man knows what he's talking about because I completely and totally resonated with what he was saying because it's something that used to irritate me a lot for a lot of different reasons. But like I said, maybe one day I will do a video on niches. I don't know. Like I said, maybe tomorrow's the day I'll do that. Who knows? We'll see. I have to sit with it a little bit longer. But yeah, the whole niche thing, ultimately, talk about things you like, talk about things you love to do, talk about things that you know how to do, and you don't even have to talk. You know, if you're someone that's like, I don't think I'm a great speaker, I don't really want to talk, you can show, you can do tutorials, you can do videos where there's no talking necessary. There's a lot of different ways to do your videos. You can look it up and see, but not everybody talks on their videos. Some people just play music in the background and they write little captions. So you can start your own style. It's all about what makes you feel comfortable and doing something that you really love. Some people they do, and I was actually thinking about doing this. It's like basically where they're working and they're recording what they're doing and it's just sped up, and people can look at that as a tutorial. Some people just like to watch those types of videos because they're soothing. Like you'll see a lot of that in the art niche, like people what's it called, like speed drawing or something like that. So they'll draw and then they'll just speed up the video. Some people might put music over top of it. Some people might talk over it about something completely unrelated to what they're doing. They might be telling you about their day or telling you a story. Meanwhile, you're seeing them draw a picture. So there's so many different ways to create content on YouTube, and that's what makes it really beautiful, right? So do something you're passionate about at the end of the day, and that will really show through in your videos when you talk about things that you're interested in, you're passionate about. And again, like for some people that are super multi passionate and they have a ton of things that they love to do, that might be hundreds of different topics that they decide to talk about, right? So everybody's channel is unique to them. It's about knowing your reasoning behind why you're doing what you're doing. All right, I lost my place. And I touched on this a little bit earlier, but yeah, about finding your style, finding your voice, experimenting, not being afraid to try new things, Figure out what works for you. Be yourself, baby. Okay, because people want to see you being you, and that's what people are going to appreciate. People are going to appreciate getting to know you. If you think about your favorite YouTubers, you like them for them, and maybe at first you went and you're like, oh, I just want to learn how to do a cat eye. Let's say if you're looking at makeup videos and you're like, oh, this person does a really great cat eye. Oh, but I also like their lipstick. Oh, let's see, and you kind of like go down this rabbit hole until you're like, yo, I really like this creator. I resonate with this creator. And then eventually over time, that becomes your favorite creator. It happens on other platforms as well. So experiment, but be you through all of it, especially if you're planning on doing this in the long run. Be you. Be you, baby. All right. Next up is all about building a supportive community. So this is important. And this is true. I'll say this, especially coming from my marketing background. Engage with your audience. Okay. So if somebody comments, go ahead and reply. Uh, if people ask questions, go ahead and answer. You're on YouTube, but there's people that are coming to your channel and interacting with you. And the best thing you can do is engage with those people because you're a real person, they're real people, and it's all about connection. It's not called social media for no reason. Social is the first word, social, right? So you got to be social on social media, okay? And this doesn't necessarily mean that you go watch a whole bunch of videos and spam the heck out of people's content. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay? Keep it real, keep it authentic, and build honest, authentic connections with people. That's the aim. All right, collaborating with other creators. So, networking, cross promotion, sharing ideas, all of that good stuff. I have not really done that much of that right now, but of course, in YouTube channels in the past, yes, definitely would look at other creators making the same types of videos that I'm making, interact with them. Uh, when it comes to YouTube, I don't remember if I've ever done a collab on YouTube, specifically YouTube collab. I don't think I've done like a YouTube collab, but that's a great way to grow your channel. I've done collaborations on other social media networks, and yeah, collaboration is great. Sharing ideas, even just having good conversation. If you watch a video and you see a creator share a lot of really great information that you like, I love liking videos. I haven't been commenting on videos as much as of late, especially since as I shared earlier, that I've not really been on YouTube as much as I have in the past. So I'm just getting my feet wet again back into the YouTube scene today. Not gonna lie. I spent a lot of time today watching YouTube videos, just a whole bunch of different random YouTube videos that popped up into my feed. So, but when something really speaks to me or moves me or I really learn something, I try to comment and, always like the video and just appreciate the creator because that's the thing that's real. When people say, yo, like this video, and help it get out to more people, that's real. That's real because that's how the algorithm knows that the content's good. That really does help the creator when you do that. So it's one of those things too. It's like if you record a video and people watch it and they find it helpful, I'm sure you would love if they thumbs up your video as well because then it can help move that video in the algorithm so other people can see that content. But it also feels nice to get that thumbs up to be like, okay, this was helpful. Then you're like, okay, great. Maybe I should create more content like this. It helps you and it helps the viewer as well to be able to get the algorithm set up to generate more videos like that for them as well. So that is something to consider when it comes to that. And also, this is major key. Good job, YouTube. You got to celebrate your victories, big or small. Acknowledge all your little victories along the way. And this is so cute because actually, YouTube is actually very good at this. YouTube sent me a little notification saying, "Oh, congratulations, you hit 10 hours of watch time." I was like, "Hey!" You know what I mean? They give you these little milestones and they celebrate your wins along the way. Now, 10 hours of watch time may not be a lot, in the grand scheme of things, but 10 hours of watch time means that there's 10 hours that somebody sat down, even if it's not just one person, but collectively 10 hours of your content was watched. Okay, most movies are only like 2.5 hours. So let's take that in. Basically, your content is equivalent to somebody watching 4 movies. Like that's when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, oh wow, that's pretty good. So celebrating all your wins. I'm celebrating the fact that I'm still here doing Vlogmas, even on the days when I was like, oh Lord, I don't know if I want to film today. And acknowledging yourself, acknowledging what you're doing well is really going to help you to build your confidence and to also build your discipline to help you get through on the days when things seem a little rough and tough. So celebrate yourself every step along the way. And the next section is the journey is just beginning. And I love that because everything's a process, right? So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. The more you share, the more you grow, which is real talk because obviously someone with 100 videos has more reach than someone with 20 videos. However, it's not really about quantity, it's really about quality and learning to improve over time. Uh, Anything that we do, as the more we do it, the more we improve. If, for example, you do makeup, the first day you started doing makeup is going to look completely different from a year after you've been doing makeup, right? You're going to learn different techniques, you're going to learn different products, you're going to learn what looks best with your skin tone, you're going to learn what style of makeup you like better. Like there's so much that we learn on the journey in the process, right? So just continue to learn as you go, and I think that's really going to help you to grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and just as a person. Consistency is key. Okay, so building a routine, scheduling your uploads, staying engaged with your audience. This is so important because honestly, some of the biggest, I guess, regrets, and I don't like to say that I have like regrets for real, but some of the things that I really did learn, especially from my very first YouTube channel, is man, there's times where I stopped. And this is for a lot of things in life, but since we're talking about YouTube, where I stopped and I'm like, man, I let people distract me. I let circumstances distract me. I let life distract me. And if I had just stayed consistent and kept going, and just adjusted my routine and not let outside factors distract me from what I was doing, I could have been a lot further along in my YouTube journey. But ultimately, everything in life is a lesson. You know, Maybe that just wasn't my time. Maybe there were things that I needed to address and situate within myself and in my own life before I got to that point. Or maybe YouTube, a million followers on YouTube is not my purpose in life. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but ultimately I'm back on the platform. I know what I did in the past that in hindsight looking back be like, man, if I had just kept posting, man, if I didn't let that situation stop me, if I didn't, become distracted by that person or what that person said or what that person did to me, I would have had very different results at the end of the day. And that's life, we live and we learn. So, like I was saying, start small, try to be consistent, and give yourself grace, but try to be as consistent as possible. There's so many ways to make things work, and you got this. You got this. You got this. And last but definitely not least, you have got to enjoy the process. Okay, you gotta let your passion shine through. You've got to have fun, and it's all about really connecting with others thinking how your content can help inspire, motivate, uplift somebody else or teach somebody else. And that's really it at the end of the day. So just enjoy what you're doing, have fun with it, you know. Don't worry about doing a million crazy edits. If you do want to become someone that does a million crazy edits in your video, you don't have to know how to do that on the first day. You know, you can work up to that. You build, you grow, you know, and you discover what works for you. And ultimately it's just a journey and a process of growth for yourself. And that's the main thing. It's just how are you growing? How are you advancing? How are you leveling up? And how many people are you able to impact in a positive way? So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Vlogmas, a Vlogmas Day at 22 with the longest video. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I sat here and talked for 40 minutes and my throat didn't even get sore. That's wild. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely let me know in the comments if you are going to be starting your YouTube channel finally. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in tomorrow's Vlogmas episode. Take care.